COVID-19 has worsened the country's high unemployment rate, pushing many into poverty and forcing more households to survive on government social support. This has pushed the basic income support grant debate top of the agenda. The Department of Social Development has recently released an expert panel report that recommended that South Africa should continue with the payment of the special COVID-19 Social Relief of Distress grant until the basic income support grant is in place. NGO Black Sash is advocating for the speedy implementation of the basic income grant. The NGO says the unemployment crisis compounded by COVID-19 and the high poverty levels and inequality make the implementation of the support grant more urgent.
Given the benefits of a basic income grant, it shouldn't be seen as a cost. It is instead an investment. It's an investment in the people of the country, and it's an investment in the economy. What we are finding through a research that is done on the COVID-19 SRD grant, that besides this income support measure meeting the immediate humanitarian demands, people are utilizing a percentage of it for job-seeking activities. Now, the closest South Africa has to a basic income grant is the 350 COVID-19 SRD grant. But this is a short-term emergency measure which is due to end in March 2022.
The report says the socio-economic challenges made worse by COVID-19 made the basic income support grant an urgent necessity.
It's no longer a question as to whether we need it. It's a question of when, how, and how creative can we be and where can we get the money from. So the question about whether we need it or not is gone now.
While others say the time for basic income support is now, others ask, with the strained fiscus, how will the country afford this?
Our revenue collection is less because of the challenges of COVID-19. A lot of people have lost their jobs. That is one. And a lot of companies have been closed. But on the other side, you as well get a country that is highly indebted, or our government debt to GDP is very high, or is above 90%. So in any way, when we have to have basic income grant, one, if our revenue collection is super, then it makes it practical that we can have it better. And then on the second part, it will be, if our debt was lower, we could probably stretch a bit. If our debt was maybe still at around 40% and 50% to GDP, we could probably compromise and see what we can do. While it is not sustainable to do that, because it can just take on the fiscal continuously.
For millions of the working class, government is looking into ways to allow for partial withdrawal of retirement funds by members. National Treasury says even before COVID-19, government had recognized that many members may need to access part of their retirement savings, especially in unexpected circumstances. Treasury says it has been engaging with trade unions, retirement funds, regulators and other stakeholders to discuss how to increase savings and improve preservation and allow limited withdrawals without creating liquidity and investment risks. National Treasury has issued papers on retirement reforms for public comment. Kosatu says it welcomes the developments as a step in the right direction.
We're happy that government listens to the outcries of workers, particularly that most of them are indebted, and also that during this period of COVID, we have seen where people were without income or not able to access their retirement fund. In other words, you got money that was locked somewhere that people will die not exceeding it, or they have to resign just to access their money. We think this is a wise move.
But not everyone is in support of the proposed partial withdrawal.
I don't support a situation where people can withdraw their pension because it will set a new trend in our economy, and having a problem of welfare now, it will increase that welfare problem in the future. Because welfare can be as well a portion of discipline and not discipline. And it can be as well a portion of the historic past which apartheid might have caused to South Africa. But we can't exacerbate as such deeply, because it's something that if we are managing to keep people in pension, they will leave that welfare challenge, and then the country will be relieved from such a crisis.
The closing date for the public comments on the papers is at the end of January 2022. Gloria Sefako Mosi, SABC News, Johannesburg.